Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Ranger Rob Country Living Podcast. I played the wrong intro. and we've lost somebody. John and Debbie are going to be here too. I forgot my glasses and I can read my notes. So we got a full show today. So before we get started, I got a couple of general information to put out. First of all, before I get everybody introduced here, I just want to let you know you can find our show on the audio version of it and all your if you got a podcast software on your cell phone, all you have to do is go to your search, type in Ranger Rob Country Living Podcast, and it'll come up because we're in Spotify, we're in iHeartRadio, and all kinds of stuff. So if you want just the audio version, our main base is out of Spreaker. And also, if you're interested in being on the show or like to ask questions, or I highly recommend that go ahead and use our comments section, or if you catch the show after the recording, leave notes and tell us things, questions you may have, things you'd like us to talk about, and also any information about what you do in homesteading. Just give us subjects. We appreciate it. So on my side, because I don't talk too much about our homestead during the show, I always get kind of the first 5 minutes. I just want to let you know is this week we actually have a estate sale that actually everybody here has been kind of participating in and helping us out, which I'm so thankful, and I'm going to talk more about that later. And we also want to urge anybody who wants to join our community. Our community is growing, and oh my gosh, it's been so nice to be able to fall onto each other for different things. And unfortunately, it's been a little one-sided because I've really been a needy person this week, and some people have really been helping me out physically to move things for the estate sale. They really didn't have to, and oh my gosh, it's just been wonderful. And we also had some people. We just got done doing castration for my pigs last night, and we actually had another farm come over from Redmond and train all of us that have pigs or getting pigs how to do the procedure. And it was like a giant party. It was like, oh my gosh, we're sick people. We are so sick. It went really good. It was interesting separating them from the mom. That was actually the hardest part and the scariest. The piglets did really well, and everything went smooth. And I want to take the time on this show to thank, we got Lori and Hayes from Obsidian Farm in Redmond. They're the ones that trained us last night, and they did a really good job. And their daughter was just charming too, and she was actually helping out too, keeping the pigs calm and stuff. So the video on that, which will be no graphic material on there at all, it's family friendly, will be out, I think, next Wednesday. And so it's, when you see it, it says family friendly. If there's no, it's not appropriate to show the actual procedures and stuff, but you can definitely feel the tensions and enthusiasm of all of us wanting to learn, but at the same time, all of us were a little on the nervous side, because even some of the piglets that like John and Debbie are going to get, and I think Amy's going to get one. So they're watching their babies getting modified. And so, yeah, that was quite a night. So I want to appreciate all the people, especially Obsidian Farm, for the help they gave us in training. And the last thing I want to add on here before we get going is, if you want to join our community and stuff like that, I have to say, and I had to do it too, sometimes you have to make the first step. Sometimes you have to push yourself forward. Send that email, make that phone call, make that comment, whatever it is. And by the way, hi Jack, I see you on there. But to get a friendship, to get a new families, get the going. All of us are real busy, and sometimes we all feel like we're going to infringe on one another or something. And really, you just need to take that step, because the invite's here. If you want to meet us, you want to participate. If you don't want to be on a podcast, we understand that. But if you want to participate in the things we're doing as a homestead community, it's growing and it's wonderful. No, there's no membership. There's none of that. It's friendship and helping one another. It's kind of like what we used to do when we were younger. And so, anyway, so with all this intro and the stuff, I want to take a little time to talk about the homestead community. And this week, has been amazing. Geez. Sherry and I were trying to do an estate sale, and we're trying to handle all this all by ourselves. And we could not do this without the help of all the people that have been on this show. And unfortunately, I don't have John and Debbie here right now. I don't know where they went. Anyway, they'll pop up. But John and Debbie, because they don't have the children and stuff and the family obligations as much as the others, have volunteered to do things that I would never imagine people would do for us. And they have allowed us to get this estate sale to go, because it takes moving stuff and organizing, and they've been filling in the gap. And Jack, I'm okay now. Anyway, and it really, it's been hard for me to tell you how this homestead community is coming together, and it's more than I expected. And unfortunately, I didn't mean to have it all towards me right now. We enjoy the fact that we're trading together and enjoying each other's children. Like me and Dale feel like grandma and grandpa again with our wives. And we love the fact that we get to share your kids with them, and you trust us with your kids too, to be saying and supporting your family values. It's been wonderful. So if I haven't convinced you that this homestead community is fantastic, and it's not an obligation, it's not a membership, it's friendships, it's helping one another. And I've seen the best of it. And I'm very grateful. It's the abundance of help, along with just the abundance of being trying to be a good person of faith and all that stuff. We've had so much food. We've had abundance of just animals and all kinds of things, and now abundance in friendships. And it's been amazing. And I can't describe it good enough to tell you how wonderful it's been. So join us. Take that first step. We'd really appreciate it. So tonight's really special, super special. We have a young lady here that's Aubrey. And I said your name right? I didn't mispronounce it. I think I actually got your little sister's name down. But Aubrey is 14, and she's a breeder for rabbits and for meat rabbits. And so she's very serious, and I've tried to test her. And I came back with my tail between my legs, because I didn't know half the things that she was trying to tell me. She was an amazing young lady, and she's going to tell us. And so may I ask, what's the main subject of your meat birds tonight?
They're rabbits, not birds.
There you go.
Thank you. I'm thinking meat birds, meat rabbits. Oh my gosh. Thank you for doing that. So meat rabbits. I goofed that up. My apologies. So she raises meat rabbits. And I've been kind of working on meat rabbit, birds over here. So I got them mixed up. But she toured Sherry and I through her breeds. And by the time that she was done going through her rabbits and all the breeding and all the stuff, I'm walking out of there with my head spinning. She's amazing. And so, so what's the main subject again for the rabbits today?
How useful it can be, especially when you can't get a hold of meat and you can't feed, like big livestock
Mm-hmm.
in places where you can't have the big livestock for meat.
Excellent. So I'm going to turn this over to you in a minute here. I do need to take the time to also make sure we get everybody introduced. I was kind of hoping John and Debbie to pop in. I have no idea what happened to them. I know they're going to be in the show.
They're out trying to round their meat birds up.
That's true. So, of course, on the top of the screen, we have Aimee from DragonFly Farm with her daughter, Aubrey. And down below, we have, I've got a new name for Dale. He's our chief medical officer.
Okay.
No, actually, science officer. We're going to make him the science officer.
Okay.
Because he always seems to have the facts and figures we need. Did you do some homework on potatoes, by the way? Were you going to share that today?
Kind of. I mean, same thing. Just water them about 2 inches a week. I've got mine turned off for a few days. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I got more questions for you after Aubrey, but I know that we had a couple more questions about potatoes towards the end. So anyway, and I also have a question like, where's John and Debbie? I have no idea what happened. So he was over here today. They were planning to be here. So hopefully they didn't have an emergency or something. So without further ado, I'd like to turn this over to Aubrey. You ready?
All right.
And try to be as close as you can to the microphone, please. And there's a beautiful rabbit.
This is Cookie. She's one of our main breeder does. She's about 2 years old, and she's a Rex, standard Rex. I've gotten 1 litter out of her so far, and she had a total of 12 kits, which is a very large litter for a rabbit in general, and especially for a first litter. Your average first litter would be about 6 kits, and she had 12. And then usually first time litters would also have a lot of casualties, especially with the litter being so big. She only had 1 casualty in that litter, and that was just a tiny runt that was a quarter the size of everyone else.
Wow.
So we got some good bloodlines.
Yeah. You said now the litter with that rabbit, who's the what did you made it with? What male?
I made it in. I did her with Stitch, which is my blue buck. He's a standard Rex. She's got paper nose. Who is my standard? He's also a standard Rex buck, and he is blue. Like he is so gray, it's almost blue.
Wow. So when you breeded them together, what were you trying to accomplish?
Color and meat.
Okay. And
so we breed for color, large litters, and trying to get them to grow out fast for meat.
Gotcha. So how long do they have to stay with their mom?
So they stay with their mom until they're 6 weeks old.
Mm-hmm.
And then we wean them off, which is simply you take half the litter to wean them. You just I take all my boys and put them in a pen. And then later on, I take all the girls. After 2 days.
The rabbit you have there, what do you call that color?
She's a tricolor.
Tricolor. And the male is a blue, right?
Blue. Mm-hmm.
And so when you got the what's a little rabbit called? Is there a name for it? A kit. Mm-hmm. What did you get the majority of your color mix when you did that?
A majority of my rabbits were blonde, actually. I
really?
got 4 blonde. Let's see. I've got 4 blonde. I got one Harlequin, which is brown and black.
Mm-hmm.
She actually got adopted by a family. They wanted her as a 4-H pet.
Nice.
And then the rest of them were broken. Broken. She's not going to bite you. Broken blues, which means they're white with the black blue color on them.
Yeah. So now, why are you using Rex a type of Rex for a meat rabbit. What's the qualities of a Rex?
They're about a medium-sized rabbit.
Mm-hmm.
They give out a pretty decent amount of meat, which is why I like them. And they also come in all the colors.
And typically, when you do turn them into meat rabbits, how far out of age do you try to go to? Like 8 months, 10 months?
So 12 weeks is butcher age.
Wow, that's a lot better than a pig.
Yeah, it's close. It's tight.
Yeah. So, have you, when you said you sold a couple of the kits already, or from the kits or kits? I'm trying to learn this terminology. I've been trying to learn from you since last week. How many are you keeping for meat?
I'll probably keep about 4 or 5, and then whatever doesn't sell, we'll butcher out. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. And typically, how much weight in meat do you have after you process them?
After they're all processed, you have about 3 pounds of meat off a 5-pound rabbit.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Okay.
That's still a pretty good sized rabbit.
Yeah, it's still, and that's butchering them at 12 weeks. They should be about 5 pounds.
Yeah.
If you let them grow out to 8 months, which
Mhm.
they would be about the size of this doe right now, and you would probably get 6 pounds of meat off of them.
Wow. So how many times do you breed her in a year?
So we took a break off in the summer, and it honestly depends on the weather.
Mhm.
Rabbits are prone to heat stroke when it's too hot, so we don't breed in the summer.
Sounds right.
And then, so there's a 30 days after we breed them is when they have their kits. And then when those kits are 4 weeks old is when we rebreed them.
Nice. Now, what's your future goals with your breeding? Are you trying to bring in any other kind of lines or?
I am trying, my big project right now I'm trying to work in is having blue rabbits. So like my buck, you came over and seen him, he's the blue color. It is a very hard to breed color, and it's very recessive. So out of between the 2 does, and he fathered both of these litters, I got 24 rabbits, and only one of them turned out to be blue. So I'm keeping her and adding her into my project to try and get some more blue ones.
So a good friend of mine was teasing. So he heard that they breed like rabbits.
Yeah. John with his zinger.
That's John Smith. Yep. So I got to remember my line of questioning here. So, and by the way, John's from Mesa, Arizona. So, definitely it was excited to hear about you. So, so you're trying to get more blue. So my next question is, I know that do you get involved in the processing of your rabbits?
Yes, I do. So usually what we'll do is my dad will dispatch them.
Yes.
And then I need to help skin and process and Ziploc. And you can get more meat off of them. You can get more useful stuff.
Right.
Like you can do keychains with the feet. You can cut off the ears, make really good. I'm not going to do it with you. Fine. The ears make really good dog treats. And then you got, if you get enough pelts, you can make really nice hats and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So that's my next question is, are you learning how to do pelts?
Yes. I did pelts a couple times before when we had rabbits before we moved here. And we had to sell off the entire rabbitry to move.
Gotcha.
And I'm just not getting back into them.
Yeah. So once you made a pelt, what do you do with that? I mean, what's your goal with
the pelts? I like to use them as like laptop holders. You can put your laptop on them. You can use them as like a centerpiece on the table. If you get enough, you can stitch them together and make a blanket. But yeah.
People also buy the pelts for crafts. Like you could get on Etsy and buy rabbit pelts. If you had a bunch of white rabbits, you could dye them different colors, and there's a market for that too.
Interesting. So what I really like the fact is not only do you raise rabbits, you control the breed, and you don't waste a thing, do you?
No.
I mean, the rabbit
only
is
the
completely.
Bones, and those go to the chicken.
Say that again.
Only the bones. We don't really use the bones because
right. Still,
And
you're
those still
using
for the chickens.
and I know your facilities are amazing. So they're bred well. They're in a good place. You're eating the meat, and you guys are processing these skins or doing the furs. And I mean, that's like utilizing entire, in the homestead world, when we do raise animals and stuff, we want to get the most out of our animals and give them good lives. And you guys are, or what I've seen, you got amazing facilities that your dad built for you. And so, yeah, if you guys were able to actually see her facilities and how she takes care of these rabbits, I can tell you, I'm really proud of how well you're doing. And so, I'm looking forward to hearing more about your rabbits. But I have one more question about you. You have a rabbit that you call a silky.
No,
That's a chicken.
I have that's
Oh,
a
not
chicken.
silky, a silk. No, I thought you
Satin?
called them a satin.
Satin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
It's a
That's
chicken
a
that's a
coat
silky.
type. So satin is a coat type, which is like the feel of the coat.
Right.
She's just got a standard coat. But I do have a doe who's got a satin coat, which is like, it feels like satin. It's very soft.
Oh, that's right. It's a doe. So this doe, I got to see this doe, and you can, when you touch and feel that fur of hers, it's unlike any other rabbits. And so I think you mentioned to me that you someday are trying to find a match for her.
Yeah, I'm trying to find
Go ahead.
a standard Rex satin buck to breed with her because I really like the satin coat.
And have you had any luck or what? I mean,
No, I've not found any. I want to do purebred because I don't want to bring in like the half New Zealand to my bloodline. And I've not been able to find one.
so I have a question now from the comments. It's like, can you describe a little bit of your facilities? Because I heard air conditioning is involved here a little bit.
So most of the time they live out in their hutches. And I've also got cages that I put on the grass for them to eat the grass.
Uh-huh.
And then when it does get too hot, because rabbits are prone to heat stroke in too hot conditions,
Yep.
they go in my tack room, in my dog kennels in the tack room.
Mm-hmm.
And they chill out in there until it's nighttime or whenever it's cool enough, and then they go back out.
And the tack room's air conditioned. Is that correct?
Yes, the tack room is now air conditioned.
So they're all sitting back watching high definition television and the whole works and enjoying the air conditioning and all that. So
Yeah.
you're trying to tell me you have very spoiled rabbits.
Well, they also come inside too. What happened
Oh,
today? I brought my future breeder. I got a Rex buck for a future breeder from a friend.
Mhm.
And I brought him inside to chill out with me for a little while. I told my sister to watch him. And she wasn't watching him, and he peed on the couch.
Oh. Sounds like some new rules. Yeah. Unfortunately, rabbits are kind of hard to control that way. But yeah. So now you got probably get some new rules from the household about rabbits in the house, huh?
Well, it's only this like one buck who's ever peed on the couch. I bring her inside, and you'll set her on the floor, and we'll put the dogs out. She'll sit on the floor. She will come up and hop on your chest if you're laying on the couch to watch TV with you. She's very friendly.
Yeah. So did you get it? I know you had two main subjects you wanted to talk about for sure with the rabbits was what you're doing, and of course, and for kids your age, why would kids want to do this?
I've always liked rabbits because they're very soft and they've got like big personalities for such small animals. People my age would probably want to do this to get into. It's a great starter for animal husbandry.
Mm-hmm. So do you are you planning on doing any like shows at fairs or anything, or 4-H or anything like that?
I
To show
thought
your
about
rabbits?
I thought about doing it next year. I'm not sure yet. I kind of want to do a butcher steer next year.
A what?
So I'm deciding if I can handle a butcher steer. a cow. in
Okay,
4-H next
gotcha.
year.
Yeah, you change subjects on me. I'm like, what? I'm
So-
still on meat chickens. So yeah, you have to deal with the crazy Ranger Rob.
Yeah, so I'll have to decide if I've got time to do the rabbits along with that.
Yeah.
But I think I might do
Interesting.
rabbits and show. She's
Well,
not
they
there,
got-
but she's friendly.
They might. I don't know if they got it for the poultry. I know they're doing it with some of the other animals that they're dealing with at the fairs. But I also think there's some scholarships you might want to look at that, because Cinder B was telling me some crazy things that they're doing with the kids in 4-H, where there's actually state programs and stuff that help pay for the processing and all kinds of stuff. So I don't know much about it. I have to kind of just tell you, I do know that there's some neat programs going on for youth in the 4-H kind of area. And so if there's scholarships in there, you better go for that. So now this rabbit here, how old is this rabbit? This is the female.
Yes. So she's 2 years old.
Uh-huh.
And usually, because she was not bred until then, they get fat that goes over their reproductive parts and they cannot breed anymore. So we thought, well, she's a free rabbit. We'll just try her anyway. And she didn't have a
She's
litter.
gonna bite you, Amy. You got a big old chunk out of your arm.
Yeah, so
And
is it?
usually,
There's John and Debbie. There they are.
Hey,
sorry, they'll last you about 2 years.
No problem. Aubrey's showing a rabbit right now, and we're all just going, what happened to John and Debbie?
Hey there.
sorry, we were having problems getting on.
Oh, no problem. We got you now. That's the good thing. I got one more follow-up question about your rabbit. That rabbit right there
Yep.
is what do you call a female rabbit that hasn't had kits yet?
That's
Is
still
there a
a
name?
doe.
A doe.
Just a doe.
Still
Is there
a doe.
another
Still
name
a doe.
for them
There's-
after they've had? So it's
No.
always a doe.
Yes.
Yes,
There's no other
always a
name
doe.
like.
Yep.
Like pigs, we have gilts and we have sows. So I was just curious if they had that with rabbits. So
No, rabbits we've got does and bucks.
Dale, that rabbit does look like it loves her, but I think that rabbit's out to get Amy.
Oh, it's looking at that spot on her arm, man. It is gonna nail her the minute Amy
Yeah, I'm
turns
thinking
the other way.
that's kind of a ferocious rabbit. And now I know why Aubrey likes rabbits. Like, go get mom. Get mom. Chase her around the house.
Couch.
Oh, geez.
Well, great. Well, Aubrey, thank you very much. That was awesome. And hopefully we'll have her back on. I want to hear about some of your new successes that you get with your breeding. If you happen to find another, I keep wanting to say silk, but you said it was another name. Let me know if you ever find one. And I'd love to follow up on that. So when you're ready to talk about any other parts and aspects of your rabbits, we want to hear it. We think it's just great to see young adults doing what you're doing. And so you're always welcome on the show with your rabbits.
Yeah, bring another one each time.
Yeah. Well, she's
Just
got
slowly
enough. You
get
get like
to
22 right now,
colony.
right?
Hmm?
You have a lot of rabbits right now, don't you? How many?
I have 23, I believe.
Yep.
And
Like
most
John
of those
said.
are grow-outs. I don't want to say I don't have 23 breeders. Most of those are grow-outs that I'm raising for me.
Yep.
I have 5
Gotcha.
breeders.
So now with one rabbit, can that feed your whole family, or do you have to do more than one rabbit?
So one doe would not feed your whole family because one doe still can only have 6 to 12 kits in a litter.
John just asked you, does this girl have a YouTube channel?
I don't have a YouTube channel, but I'm on DragonFly Farms.
Let's see, what else? Do we have any other questions here? Hot weather. And we're going to be talking about this hot weather in a minute. And then also John said, I heard rabbits are like beers that they taste. They taste hoppy. It's a beer joke. Oh gosh. So Anyway, thank you very much, Aubrey. I got to move on to our other subject. You did excellent. And when you're ready, you just let me know and we'll bring you on for, because I know you got some other subjects we want you to either talk about your breeding, your butchering, how you're cooking them, all kinds of questions. So, but yeah, that was awesome. I want people to kind of know you all the time that you're my rabbit expert.
I want to jump in here and say something really quick. I mean, this is great to see Aubrey in here. This takes me back to my youth. I started in rabbits probably when I was 10. I kind of ramped my production up when I was about 12. It's a perfect youth type of a thing. She's making a real logical progression up to a larger animal. I mean, that's just, that's something you're going to want to do and everything else. But with 23 rabbits, 5 does, she's breeding them out. This girl's doing an excellent job with a small scale animal husbandry right here. And quite frankly, there's college kids in animal science classes that could take lessons from her and how she's done this and talked. And I've seen her rabbits. I've been over there. I've seen it. And what she is doing is fantastic. This is a prime example of an entire family effort contributing to the sustenance of the family by producing this meat. And it's one small slice of everything that you need to be a successful homesteader. And so she's definitely contributing to this thing. And, she's managing a small animal project. She's doing a wonderful, excellent job. And we're all proud of her.
Amen. So,
yeah.
Yep. We're very proud of you. So great job. And you can, we want you to stick around as long as you like, Phil, until the rabbit bites your mom.
Yeah.
Put it back in the
I put it in the carrier.
So we got to hear this story. What happened to John and Debbie?
I got working.
Okay. I'm like, and I'm questioning myself. I'm going, did I use the wrong messenger again?
No, I was canning and lost track of time. It was my fault.
Yeah. So my understanding, you guys are like, you're going gung ho on canning over there. So
Only 2 days.
yeah, but it sounds like you've like pretty much canned the entire grocery store over there.
Pretty much.
Well,
So-
what's that? How do you say that word? The pot. I'm not going to say it on here. Or try to say it on here.
So being a little
Save the
anal
world.
attentive, is that
Oh,
what she
God.
started looking?
No, not the
Or
holocaust.
whatever.
Really?
The apocalypse.
So what are you canning tonight? What is the goal tonight for canning?
I did cornbread, I did noodles, and I did wild rice.
Wow, and you're doing the oven technique, right?
The dry canning.
Gotcha.
And it'll last 15
Yeah.
years.
15 to 30 years.
Yeah, I
Dry
haven't talked
canning?
to dry canning she's doing, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so and this is kind of new to you, isn't it, Debbie? Isn't
I
it?
just started yesterday.
Really new to Debbie. Yeah,
we
she's
go, we
just
go big.
yeah, it's like I keep hearing every day like all these little things she's doing. It's like, oh my goodness. So yeah, she's going hog wild over there. That was a pig joke. So yeah, that's great.
Just like
So
meat
of course,
birds.
I was talking to her earlier, and she goes, she finds out Sherry's been doing both types of wet canning and also pressure canning because of we got tomatoes coming in, and that was one thing I was going to report on us is we'll start going nuts and tomatoes over here because we do them in the hydroponics, and so I'd say in about 3 weeks we're going to start hitting it pretty good with the canning. So Debbie goes, okay, wow, that's something else I'm learning. So it's like we're gonna have probably Debbie over here to while we're doing our sauces and stuff, and then we'll do some of their stuff too. And then I think we're also talking about going crazy with peaches if possible. So yeah. So you missed me blubbering earlier today, but these two people, I got to tell you, have been amazing. And I totally understand. I mean, it's, you guys have been helping us out big time on the estate stuff, and I know they're coming over after this show, and I cannot thank you enough. Sherry's out there. I can see out the window. She's like, I don't know what she's doing. She's already moving stuff out there. She's a go-getter. I think she's all stressed out. But anyway, thank you so much for everything. John actually helped me feed my pigs this morning and move some things from the back room to the front of the house. I can't thank you enough. And
No problem.
they're doing it out of the kindness of their heart. And we just met, 2 weeks ago? And it's been a little one-sided, and it kind of, I know that won't be that for a way.
Well, we'll
but
get
right
you
now
back. Don't you worry.
I figured. And Amy's her family and all that stuff, they've been Dustin helped us move some stuff. We're still trading milk like crazy. We got all kinds of neat stuff going on. And so we're very thankful. A lot of this has been really heat related outside and stuff. So we haven't been bringing Dale over because the last time I had him over here, I had him walking around here so much in the heat, I thought I was going to kill him. So anyway, we're being kind to you, Dale.
Well, that's good. You know, I kind of feel bad. I'd love to come over there and just knock this stuff out and everything, but I've had my issues with the heat and everything in the past.
No,
and
you
so,
have.
you know, I'm out at 6 a.m. getting my stuff done, and now I'm usually done. You know, unfortunately, sitting like an old man in Arizona in his air-conditioned house. You know, at the heat of the day and everything. But you know, so hopefully I'll be able to come up with some information and guidance and everything. I'm going to be over in the morning right after I got to do some things around here.
And don't think our relation. I mean, Dale's done a lot for me for training on certain things in greenhouses. He's given me plants, things like that. So we've had a wonderful trading relationship. So
this is not about.
I gave you poopy bags.
Yeah, exactly. This is not about keeping score, bean counting, or anything else. It's just not how this works, and that's kind of how I was raised and everything. And so, you know, unfortunately, though my physical abilities are limited, you know, I do have a wealth of information and experience and everything else, and mistakes.
Well, if anybody needs a hand, we're out here.
That's why Dale is our science officer.
And I'm going to get Dale when this heat wave's over. Trust me.
Well, we'll visit tomorrow and everything like that, and you know, and I need to get my tractor over there and help Rob clear off some space and everything, so we can get him some more open ground and everything like that. You know, and so it's just like, whenever somebody else needs some help or something else, because I've said this before, I've stepped in piles of crap so deep I didn't think I was going to get out, you know, and so I just want I try to share those experiences with other homesteaders and people out there so that they may avoid those mistakes or modify them, you know, or something like that. So it all works out.
Yep.
That's one of the things is we're waiting for cooler weather. It's really hot out there now. Dale's got this Cadillac of a tractor with air conditioning, a little thing. And it's like, and I've got this little piddly little thing that goes and smokes and all that stuff. And so he's definitely got a nice scenario, but still, it's really hot out here. And so we're not going to do play around with our tractors till the fall. And we're really going to put a dent in the 2.5 acres I got in the back. And so Dale came over. We kind of evaluated the scenario. He knows what he's getting into. And I didn't want to have him come over and like, oh, yeah, I need you to pull stumps, too. So he knows what we're up against. And so I'm looking forward to really putting a dent into those paddocks back there that we're going to get that
cleared out.
We're trying to get the paddocks that are already used by the pigs. We're trying to incorporate that into the ground to start bringing that high desert kind of ground alive. And so what we're going to do is really important. So it's really, but not till it cools down, because we're in the hundreds all week.
That's horrible.
Oh my gosh! So that's one of the subjects I wanted to talk with you guys about. Is once again, we were kind of talking about this a little bit last week on weather related, but now we're starting to hit the the hundreds, and it's like what kind of? I'm having trouble with water. I got water. It's just keeping water out with the pigs. I'm running a sprinkler out there now. It's like John and I were out there, and it's like it didn't even look like I hardly watered the wallows or anything. So
we're dealing with no pressure again.
How many hoses are you running together? to get out to the
I'm not running them together. I'm actually running them from different spigots, but it's still going like 500 feet.
Yeah, but your water is coming out really hot.
Oh, that's because it's sitting on a hose for 500 feet. It takes like 5 minutes to drain the hoses up. Yeah, once it does that, it's
too. We're not on a well, and we hardly have any pressure.
Yeah.
Again.
Dale, have you heard anything about what's going on with the water?
I haven't heard anything like that. That's a fairly common thing probably in these smaller municipal water systems this time of the year. I mean, there's just a lot of usage going on. I'm as guilty as anybody. I put another start on my drip irrigation today and everything. I was looking it up, and I'll try and get on my other computer here while we're going. But as we head into those temperatures next week, today I would imagine we had an evapotranspiration rate of about 0.33 inches, 0.35 inches. And what that means is that the weather sucked out 0.3 of an inch of water out of the soil today. And I think it was probably higher. We get up into those 100 to 107 degree, just ridiculous temperatures. We're probably looking at 0.6 of an inch evaporation a day. So however you're regulating the water you're putting on, you can anticipate doubling probably that rate. And I'll follow up on that maybe later, and we'll visit about that a little bit tomorrow, maybe when they get there. But just be aware of that. And that's probably why you haven't got a lot of pressure. There's just a lot of people using that water right now. The pressure stays pretty consistent on the system and everything. And it's just like, I used to be able to tell what day of the week it is by the way the water pressure is and everything else. We have awesome water pressure on Tuesdays and Wednesdays at about 10 to noon. That's where
the weekends,
water
forget
pressure.
it.
Yeah, the weekends and Sundays are not too bad sometimes like that. But so everybody that's out there, just be aware that if you have to put on that much water and maybe a little bit more for your plants to thrive. So you've got to be prepared to put on 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch of water a day right now. And you can just do that and not worry about calculating. Just start running and leaving it running because you don't want to let it fall down too low because you play hell trying to catch it back up and everything like that. So real critical time. Yeah, critical time of the year.
3 times a day.
Yeah.
Wow. So Aubrey, you've had to do anything different this week with this high temperatures with the rabbits?
Eating on camera.
Oh, got her.
Dustin,
Gotcha.
you have enough to share?
Yeah. Rob saw that
Not
because
really.
I'm gonna go to Aubrey because she's got something she's chewing on.
Yeah, what you eating?
Let's cut the
Yeah, what is it? You gonna
We
share with the
want
rest of
some.
us?
It's rabbit jerky.
So
Millworms.
I'll pass it on to your mom. So what kind of things are you up against with this hot weather there, Amy?
Well, we have a pretty good the sprinklers, the drip systems on the garden and the orchard.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I will admit I'm about ready to let my flower beds die because those I have to hand water, and I am not doing good in this heat. There has been several nights where we get through the day and I've milked the cow, but it's time to either finish watering or clean the milking machine, and I've just had to tap out, and Dustin's had to take over for me, and I've had to chug some water and go lay down because I can tell I'm dehydrated. I'm nauseous. I think I'm going to puke. I think I'm going to pass out.
She's gonna hit me in the face.
I'm not. I'm going to do this. I'm a hand talker. So my flower beds, I get compliments on them every single time somebody comes to buy plants or milk or eggs. But I've told my flowers several times, I'm about done with y'all because I don't have anything but hand watering for my flower garden. And I'm just about over it. Like, I just don't have the energy and the heat to do it.
Wow.
But, and there's Dale's very nice
Mr.
drip
Show Off.
system.
We could get drip irrigation set up in those, Amy. We'll have to look at that and see if we can adapt that because that's what I've done.
I guess I have a little bit of extra drip tape too. So if you need,
Yeah. And it's on our to-do list, but our house is still not done. there's multiple, it's just another project, you know, that isn't done yet. We made sure that the garden was taken care of because that's food. Garden, the flowers, that's pleasure, really, you know. Sure, there's some edible flowers, but that's not going to feed us all winter. So it's just a project on the list. But I mean, she has to go out several times a day. She's religiously checking the temperature. What's the degree that you get the waters?
So water bottles, I get my rabbits frozen water bottles for them to snuggle up to help keep their temperatures down at 85 degrees. And when it gets past 95 degrees, they go in air conditioning.
So we're
Gotcha.
monitoring the temperature. Zoe's kind of our chicken whisperer, my middle daughter. So it's really her responsibility to make sure that we're refilling chickens' waters several times a day, spraying down the dirt so they have something nice and cool to fluff in.
Yeah.
You know, this is our first full summer here in Central Oregon. I'll complain about the cold when it comes, but for now, I'll complain about the heat.
Yeah, we got a little bottle. You've got to spray off the horses when we're done riding them because it's just so hot.
Yeah. So with I guess you might have the same problem. One of the things I've been learning this year, learning at my age, I'm still learning, asking for help, and so John and Debbie have kind of taught us how to ask for that, and it's I feel like I'm asking too much lately, but
Nope, you're
Don't even
not.
worry
but
about
like
it.
we're like Dale was just bringing up here, and he's back. Let me get him back on the screen here. And we're just talking about Dale. I love it when he leaves because we can talk about him.
Open the door. Let me
Well, we're
have it.
talking about asking for help, and so that's kind of a new one for me. I've always been kind of like, I'll just learn how to do it and do it myself, and so it's and I'm mentioning this because everybody sometimes has this problem, and so just like John and them was saying, or and Dale is like, if there's something we can do to kind of make that go easier with you, I offered some extra hoses, and he's got the skill to get you hooked up, and John and Debbie are just crazy.
Well,
that's
Hey,
what
you
we
guys
are
are all
working
becoming an
touch on
extended
today.
You
family.
can come and do my garden next.
Oh,
Mine's
This
not
guy-
a drip system either.
Despite this heat, and as annoying as it is and everything else, you have to look at how the role that heat plays in agricultural in Central and Eastern Oregon is. It's a pretty profound role. And I don't know about John and Debbie's. I do know the soils that Rob's and Amy's place are extremely good, typical sandy soils and everything. They don't retain a lot of water, so you got to keep putting the water on there and everything. But you can grow some amazing crops in this heat if you just keep the water pounded to it. And basically, when you start hitting that 100-degree mark, we're just talking about keeping the plants and everything else alive and everything. And so you just have to put as much water as you possibly can on, and you kind of look at the whole thing and evaluate your situation to make sure you're setting your infrastructure and everything else up to be able to supply that. Because, in the wintertime, it's cold. This is not an issue, but face it, here we're just in the middle of July. We've got another 2 months of potential weather like this
At least.
and everything. So so we just better learn to live with it and adapt to it, and and kind of have these ideas in our background, remembering that our water system did run dry here last week and everything. Rob and Amy are on wells. John and Debbie and us, we're not on a well. So basically, if we had an extended problem with water here on the potable system that we're on, my stuff's done. It's going to bake. It's going to broil. There's not a thing I can do and everything. At that point in time, I guess it's harvest time, whether stuff's ready or not, type of thing. But those are just kind of the things you keep in the back of your mind. And there again, Amy's, probably, I was probably about her age when I started realizing that the body was not this endless well of energy and everything else that was out there, that you had to start paying attention to how you treated it and everything. And of course, I didn't pay attention to that and managed to do more damage to my body, even past then. But
Exactly.
you gotta look at this thing and say, I've got this much work to do. I've got to keep myself and everything else in good enough condition to do this. And so allocating your times and everything else like that. Very important. Very important.
One of the things I want to bring up for this group before we forget, I know we only have about 10 minutes, but after last night when we were doing the castration with the piglets, we're all new, being trained. And so how many times in the last year or two have all of us had to face new fears or learning something new or doing something of the unknown when it comes to homesteading? And so I want to bring that up because some people might be hesitant to go into homesteading. It's like, I don't know if I could butcher a chicken. I don't know if I could castrate a pig. I don't know if I could raise rabbits and do tournament because they're so cute and all that stuff. And so what are you guys' comments or thoughts about? I know that everybody in this panel has kind of addressed new fears. Some of them are righteous for being a little scary. And at the same time, you still did it. You did it. And
raising pigs. Never even thought when I got out of the Navy that I was ever going to raise pigs. And
same here.
And it's at first I was fearful, but then it just became emotional. I fell in love with raising them.
Mine was last night. Seriously. When the pig went down, I left the building. I left the property. I almost left the state. But last night was a really big one for me because sitting there watching that without crying. I cried that morning just thinking about it.
2 of those pigs were yours.
Yeah. Yes. And I was okay with it. Yeah. And I've really been thinking about staying when they do the next pigs on the 16th.
Yeah.
And to clarify, you had pigs butchered yesterday, right?
Yeah, we did one already.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And I stayed for that one and just get the experience of it. And yeah, it was kind of
shocking.
Yeah, surreal.
Yeah. I think with homesteading is putting yourself in the right mindset of how these animals are used. I think all of us agree, highest priority, all of our animals live the best life ever.
Oh yeah. That's the one thing, if you're going to eat them, you want them to have the best life they can. That's why she made a pond for, I mean, it's almost like a swimming pool.
Yeah.
And she fills it up every morning.
Diane takes frozen corn to the chickens a couple times a day and everything. Right now we do the same thing, hose their pins down and everything else, like that. So you do take care of them, and there's a difference. You need to make sure that you're a homesteader and not a hoarder, because there's, that you can't mix those two. They don't mix well.
No.
Hoard animals. That would be me.
Yeah. Sherry and I were talking about this last night a little bit, and I'm going, I've had messages like, how could you have processed Mr. Cow? And then my question is like, what do you expect me to do with a 300-pound pig? Am I supposed to turn that into a pet? What's costing me 6 pounds of feed every day, water, space, all that stuff. Is like, what can I do to make that the best life ever for Mr. Cow? But eventually, and if, in fact, when that day comes, that it was done correctly and quickly and the whole thing. But I find it funny when I get I understand the comments, but in the world of all these guys who's like may say, how could you do such a thing? But if they're eating out of the grocery store, I can guarantee you that every animal that was in that meat market was not treated as good as our animals.
No.
No, they're in a pen on a cement slab.
Yeah.
And there's like 50 to 60 in a pen.
It all comes down to the fact that, agriculture and animals, have different venues and they're processed different ways. And one of the back roads outside of Newburgh, where we go over to see our kids and everything, there's an animal rescue there. Great. These people are awesome. They take animals in and they live the rest of their life there. And they have some brown Swiss steers. They're oxen is what they are. And these guys are just roaming around the field. I mean, if they're oxen, I'd put a yoke on them, make them do some work or something like that and everything. But I mean, this farm has got cows and turkeys and everything else. And bless their hearts, they have a lot of people to come out and help take care of them. But that's it. That they're going to live their lives out there, and that's fine. You know, but that's not really how, you know, the whole thing was intended to work, I think.
I'm pretty sure Rob does the same thing. Part of your chores is go out and give them scratchings too, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Well, that's the highest priority, scratching bellies.
I mean, if somebody came and scratched me every day, there you go.
It ain't gonna
Step it
happen.
up, Debbie.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna happen. I need you to work.
Oh my gosh. Hey John, welcome from Eugene, another Oregonian.
Yay.
Yeah, nice to have you, John. Aimee, I got about 4.5 minutes left. Have you had to face anything that's been in facing fears or doing the unknown for the first time or whatever this year, and just how did you go about it?
Yeah.
What?
I'm meeting me, right?
What?
Someone to your pig store had a lamb that we got for free. He's bottle baby. And I knew from the start he was a butcher critter. And you just work with him the best you can. Like this lamb was very well behaved. His name was Lucky. But similar, they're still butcher animals, and it was still hard to butcher this sheep because he thought he was a dog. Like he went for walks down the road with me.
Wow.
But it's hard, but you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good
for
know
you.
from the start.
Even if you know from the start, it's still hard.
Yes.
That is why Aubrey needs her own YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Because she is so
Can we
good at
share?
this stuff.
Can't we
Yeah,
share?
whatever. I mean, but that right there just ought to tell you everything you need to know.
I think she's gonna be our
And
little
I'll probably just be
veterinarian.
training horses.
I wouldn't
No,
doubt it.
This whole year has been a year of firsts for us.
Yeah.
Butchering a sheep that we raised from a baby, milking a cow, figuring out what to do when your cow permanently injures itself and you have to put it down. This has been a year of firsts for us all the way around. And so I just wanted to super quick say how thankful I am for each and every one of you and your families, because like last night was one of the greatest nights I've had ever. And it wasn't because we were torturing the pigs. It wasn't. The word that keeps coming to my mind is fellowship. And I know Rob uses the word community, but the word that keeps coming to my mind is fellowship, which goes right along with community. And we can't, especially living this lifestyle, we can't do this by ourselves. We have to have people who share the values, and each one of you are just a gift from God, truly, to our family, and we
As
hope
well
you
as
feel
you.
the same way.
Yeah, we feel that way about all you guys. I feel like in the video I did today, actually, I talk about miracles, and I was like, in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, Sherry and I knew we had this big thing coming up. It's like all we could do was, how are we going to handle this? How are we going to get through this? We can't go another year without getting rid of this stuff from the estate. And it's like all of a sudden you guys started pouring into our laps as like a gift. And it's like, and I mean, it was so much more than just help. It's friendships. And it's also showing, I know we're running out of time, but homesteading doesn't have to be a big family. It could be a pair family like me and Sherry, where it's just us. But you always worry about the manpower to do what you want to do. And that's why a lot of homesteads have children, so they can share in the chores and stuff. But I guess the big part we're saying is if you're single, if you're just a older couple, you can do this. You can do this with community. And so you guys are proving it, and it's amazing.
The big thing is you need to tap every bit of information you can to get the homestead going the way you want it.
Yes,
Always learning.
definitely.
Just do
All right,
it.
guys, just do it. Just
There
do
you go.
it. All right. So guys, we got to wrap this
Thanks,
up.
Aubrey.
I want to thank Aubrey for your presentation today. You did fantastic. Of course, Amy, and of course Dale, and of course John and Debbie. I mean, they're late, but
sorry we missed it.
They were chasing their meat
have
birds.
To come over and see it.
Yeah,
they're
chasing those meat birds, huh? So,
not yet.
Were they here when I said that?
No, they weren't. They weren't.
Oh,
Rob referred to as, I don't know, something that was a silky and it wasn't a silky, and then it was meat birds and it was actually Aubrey's.
That's why Aubrey's the expert.
Yeah, exactly.
Aubrey is. So guys, I want to thank everybody for watching the show. I want to thank the panel, and we'll be here next week. And please leave messages and notes in the comments of things you'd like us to talk about. And we got to move on because we just hit our hour mark. So guys, have a great day. Talk to you later.
Bye all.
Thank you very much for watching our video. Please take the time to like, subscribe, and share our videos all over the whole wide world. Thanks.